Dorothy, and I'm here with Sandra Jones, who's willing to sit down with us and give us an insight into her life. How are you doing, Sandra?
I'm doing very well, Marilyn. Thanks so much for asking.
Good to hear. Now let's just jump right into this. When did you first meet your husband?
This question brings back fond memories. So, I met Tony my sophomore year of college. He was a junior and we had biology together. Class was held in this huge lecture hall, but somehow he always found a seat next to me. Eventually, he asked if we could share notes with one another, and that was the beginning of our friendship. Months later, I actually found out he paid a guy to sit one seat away from me. That way, the seat next to me would always be available. So sweet and romantic in hindsight.
So terribly romantic, that, Tony. Moving right along, what is your current career?
Well, I graduated from college with a degree in finance, and I worked in the field for a few years. Once the children came along, I stayed at home and did financial advising, which has worked out really well. So that's what I do now, and I love it.
It's nice to see a modern woman balancing life and career. Let me ask you, what's your favorite memory from childhood?
Oh, I have to think back for this question. Well, I'd have to say summer road trips with my sisters and parents. We'd be packed in the car, windows rolled down, and everyone singing to Motown music. Now those were some special days. What an amazing memory that must be for you.
Sandra, what are some things that make your day better?
When I'm able to get everything done on my to-do list. Now that there, I can relate to.
With you being such a busy woman, what do you do when you find the time to relax?
Well, Marilyn, I make time to relax. I think it's very important for each of us. Personally, I like to read and do puzzles that strengthen my mind. I want to keep this brain sharp, you know what I mean?
Oh yes, and some of those puzzles are just so tricky.
Exactly, but you feel really good when you finally solve them.
So true.
So, tell me, how would your ideal weekend go? This sounds like bliss. There would be no laundry to do, no food to cook, the family would be content, I'd be getting a deep tissue massage, and I'd be able to soak in a jetted tub for however long I want.
That sounds like a heavenly place. I think I might have to join you.
Now, speaking of places that bring you bliss, where is the most exciting and interesting place you've been? I wish we traveled more, but I'd have to say Paris for our honeymoon. We explored all the history and romance the city had to offer. Then we spent some time in the south of France to get some sunshine. It was just such a magnificent experience.
What a nice place to spend some time.
Sandra, what fad or trend do you hope comes back? Oh, I'm not much into fashion, but what fad I do wish would end is the crop top phase. My daughter's shirts never meet her pants.
I could see how that would be bothersome.
So, it's Black History Month, and I want to ask you, what historical Black figure impresses you the most with what they've accomplished?
Well, there's so many. But today I think I want to focus on Harriet Tubman and her achievements.
Harriet had a strong influence through her mother, Rit, who didn't allow their owner to sell her younger brother. This incident strengthened Tubman's resolve to fight for justice and to keep her family together. See, previously, 3 of her sisters were sold and separated from the family forever. When her family was threatened to be broken apart again after the death of their owner, Tubman decided to escape from slavery in the year 1849. While free, Harriet missed her family and she wanted them to be free too. So she made many trips back to Maryland to free her family and many others while using the Underground Railroad to get them there. Many people don't know that Harriet Tubman had a very strong faith and believed God guided her and kept her safe in her many journeys freeing slaves. What's most impressive to me about Harriet Tubman
is her love for her family and her extreme belief that God would bring them together despite the many obstacles they faced. You're right, I didn't know that about Harriet Tubman. Thank you for the informative lesson. This is going to be our last question.
What do you spend most of your time thinking about, Sandra?
Like Miss Tubman, my family is usually at the forefront of my thoughts. I want to make sure they are happy, loved, and fulfilled in the life they are leading. That is a lovely sentiment, and from the looks of it, you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you, Sandra, for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us. Marilyn McCarthy here. Have a wonderful evening. Were you a slave when you were called? Don't let it trouble you, although, if you can gain your freedom, do so. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 21. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6.